back to understanding how to train players and bringing the best out of them, especially the pros, how do you study players on the court and in film? Like, what are your strategies and go-tos for assessing a player's strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, Roz, I think being around the game, yourself, you're a hooper. You can walk into an arena and just because you have a feel for the game, you can identify things right away about a player. So for me, though, I've always looked at players' footwork and players' balance. I look at those two things and how they play, no matter what position, whether they're point guard, whether they're center. Those two things for me kind of tell me a lot about a player. And then again, you can look at shooting mechanics, you can look at ball handling, you can look at all these different things, but I try to really look at the basic fundamentals. And to me, footwork and balance are really huge. The whole women's basketball movement and how important that is huge for me, because I think that was one of the things that, Kobe and I had a number of conversations on. We did a Mamba Invitational where we invited 20 NBA players, and we did 2 days of just on the court, off the court, where they had a chance to really just get a chance to pick Kobe's brain and be next to him and talk to him and work out with him on the floor while I was there. So we had talked about doing one for the WNBA and some elite high school girls. So I just think that women's basketball, it doesn't get enough credit, doesn't get enough respect. And just in general, people don't really understand how serious female hoopers are. Like how serious you guys are about the game and how much time they put into the craft of working on their game. And so that's one of the things that, I really kind of dove into during the pandemic, is trying to connect with more female athletes. And, I've connected with Jewel Lloyd and Mo Billings and some elite high school girls, and just really want to be able to be a part of that as well and help women's basketball continue to move into an area of more popularity and more understanding of how real the sport is. I think it's growing. I think that's growing and it's changing. And I know that, that's something that you've been a part of for a long time as well. But that's something I'm really serious about and diving in and doing more stuff with women's basketball.
Coach, I saw you working with Mo Billings and different WNBA players, different female hoopers. Is there a big difference in training male hoopers versus female hoopers? And there's nothing wrong with saying, yes, there are differences.
Yeah, big difference. I think female hoopers, they lock in more to the details because males are more athletic, right? The male hoopers tend to skip details because of their athleticism. They figure, I can do this. I can cut this corner. What I would like about women's basketball is the details that they apply. And I mean, the details of working on their footwork, working on their balance, working on just the details of the game. I think that's a huge difference for me. They pay more attention to the details, and you can see it. Their fundamentals are sharp. They have to be. Again, there are a lot of athletic female basketball players, but I think the athleticism that we're talking about is, above the rim versus below the rim. And now you see more ladies entering into that realm of dunking in games and all of that stuff. But I think that's the area to me that I've seen is the biggest difference. It's just their attention to detail is a lot stronger.
One more question about female hoopers. I know your relationship with Kobe was strong. He actually had asked you to work with his daughter, Gigi. Just because we don't hear a lot about, or we don't know as much about Gigi, can you reflect on what Gigi's game was like, what her mentality was? What was she trying to work on?
She was like her dad. I remember the first time I went down to work out Gigi and a couple of her teammates. It was right after the finals in Toronto. And I had taken like a month off. I hadn't done anything. And Cole reached out and was like, yo, you in LA? And I had happened to just get to LA. I said, yeah, I'm here. And he was like, I want you to come down. I want you to come down and work Gigi up. So I drove my car. Next day, got down there. He told me, he said, look, man, do not take it easy on them. You treat them like you treat us. Like, don't come down here with no soft stuff, man. They need that work. And that mindset was there. They are serious about it. I mean, they are serious about their craft. Gigi she loved the game. You could tell that it wasn't just, is my dad making me play? No, she had her own love for the game. And you could tell right away. And I just think you could tell that Cole, since he had the love, he was just going to make it accessible to her. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you succeed if this is what you want to do. And, I mean, she would work on fadeaways. She would work on a lot of patent stuff that, you would see in Cole's game. She was trying to implement those things in her game. And so she was serious about it. She would miss shots and she'd get angry. She turned the ball over, she'd get angry. And, I used to tell her, like, don't worry about it, G. Like, that's why we in here. Work, get better. And I know that there was a handful of other people that Cole had spent time with her working on her game, but the mentality was there. You could see it right away.
I want to keep it moving to this part of the interview where you have an app. You have an app called 94 Feet of Game app. And so now your great knowledge, your drills, the way you think, your gems that you can give to people is not just for the best superstars of the NBA, but it's available to anyone who wants to work on their game. Can you tell me more about the vision for monetizing your knowledge and creating a business out of your workouts?
Man, Roz, I was actually forced into it. Some of my business partners were kind of just on me about getting to a place to where I can share my knowledge. And I've had a lot of coaches over the years, man, email me, DM me, just approach me about workouts or techniques or, coach, can I come watch your workouts? And so I think, as I've kind of went through this journey as a coach in the NBA, it became more apparent to me that for some reason, people want to understand and learn how I teach the game. So it took me a while to really believe that. Like, if you believe that, it took me a while to really be like, nah, come on. It's not that many people out there that really want to know. But when we created the app, Roz, my whole purpose behind the app was really to just share knowledge with any coach, any trainer, any player, parent. It doesn't matter age, gender, doesn't matter your level. If people want to have a better understanding of the game and understand how Coach Handy thinks, that was where the whole 94 Feet of Game app came from. And again, I ran my training business for 13 years where I trained kids on a daily basis. There wasn't, my NBA clientele was a very small part of my business. I spent 90% of the year training high school kids and middle school kids and college athletes. So the app is really just a way, because I can't be everywhere now. And as a full-time coach in the NBA, I can't train as much as I would like with people that are in middle school. So the app is just an outlet for me to share the knowledge that I have to help people understand training. The philosophy of how I train is not, I don't look at it as my training as the only way or the only right way. I just think that now there's more people that want to understand how I teach some of the elite athletes and how that applies to teaching the youth. So the app has been probably one of the best passion projects I've ever been a part of. Being able to develop it and making it available to the basketball community. I just really want to see basketball grow. I'm a lifer. I love the game, and I want it to be coached in a proper fashion. And so I'm just put it out there to try to share as much knowledge as I can with the whole basketball community.
Well, it's very exciting. You've worked with the likes of Kobe, LeBron, Kawhi, Kyrie, the list goes on. And you actually on the app have pros showing the drills with you, but you're also working with college kids, young kids, boy hoopers, girl hoopers, all genders. So it's exciting that knowledge is accessible to everyone on the 94 Feet of Game. Matt. So we'll definitely be checking it out.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time and joining us on the boardroom, and we wish you the best of luck in the bubble in Orlando.
Roz, man, I appreciate you. People don't really know, Roz, our history going back to them Golden State, Cleveland days. I'm quite on your climb and your journey as well. I think we kind of our paths have been somewhat similar. We just kind of started, and the journey just takes us. I could not sit here and tell you, Roz, I expected to be sitting where I am today from years ago. So